two things about autism that I believe are really relevant and I think are often overlooked. One of them is the fact that autism is an invisible condition, right? It is not something that you can just detect with the naked eye right away. And the other one is that it is a lifelong condition. So a little kid who's diagnosed with autism will be autistic for the rest of his or her life. So those two things I think are very important to note because they affect a lot of things. And even though I know those things very well as the mother of a 6-year-old autistic kid, this weekend I experienced something that really put a visual to that. And I think it's an image that will be engraved in my heart and in my head for a very, very long time, if not for the rest of my life. So I wanted to share that. So my son is 6 years old, and he loves the water. Anything that has to do with water, obsessed, loves it. So this weekend we took him to a splash pad, and there was a lot of kids there and parents there. And my son was just running around and touching the water and laughing and, you know, splashing around and, you know, singing, like doing all the things. And mostly nobody was thinking anything of it because he's a kid, right? Like little toddlers and little kids, like they do this. They love the splash pad and that's what they do. So he's just pretty much blending in with everybody else. Maybe he has a little bit more energy, but nothing out of the norm. But there was this one kid, he was about maybe 12 or 13. And he was very calm and he was walking around very peacefully, and every once in a while he would stretch his hand and touch the water, you know, and keep walking around, just using the splash pad in a very calm and peaceful way. And all of a sudden he screamed of happiness. It was like a burst of energy, and he just went, ah! And he started flapping his hands like really, really fast, just for a few seconds. And everybody was like taken aback, right? Everybody was just like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? He stopped and then he kept walking. And he did it again like 5 minutes later, you know, and every few minutes he would do the same thing. And it was just him having, you know, this burst of energy, and he was just so excited to be in the water that he would just do this. And it was very clear to me that he was stimming. And, you know, those are things that I pick up really quickly because my son's autistic. So I notice these things. So the explanation was very clear to me, but I think a lot of people there were just kind of confused of what was happening. And I think this happens often when kids start getting